Breaking news in Belgium this morning, where Paris terror suspect Salah Abdeslam was expected to make his first court appearance, but he did not appear in court. His lawyer was there, though, telling the judge that Abdeslam will not be fighting the extradition back to France.
Abdeslam was captured in Belgium during a raid last week. He's believed to be the only surviving terror suspect involved in the November attacks.
Meantime, a massive manhunt is underway, trying to track down two possible suspects that survived Tuesday's attacks in Belgium. Kenneth Craig is in Brussels right now.
As the hunt for the mystery man in the white jacket continues, Belgian prosecutors are learning more about the suspected ISIS terrorists connected to Tuesday's terror attacks in Brussels. Authorities believe the terror cell's bomb maker Najim Lashrawi, pictured here on the left, and Ibrahim El-Bakraoui in the middle, both blew themselves up at the airport, while Ibrahim's younger brother Khalid detonated his explosives on the subway train. Officials say they also found DNA belonging to at least one of the suspects in Belgium on a suicide vest used in the Paris attacks last November.
Tuesday's attack here in Brussels and the events in Paris are renewing concerns about fighting ISIS in Europe.
It's much easier to get into Europe than to get into the United States, for example, because of geography. Most European Muslims are not radicalized. The vast majority are not, but they do have a higher radicalization rate.
Speaking from Argentina, President Obama once again urged the international community to come together in the terror fight.
We can and we will defeat those who threaten the safety and security not only of our own people, but of people all around the world.
According to the Associated Press, ISIS has trained at least 400 fighters to carry out waves of attacks in Europe designed to inflict maximum carnage. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Brussels.
Kenneth, thank you. European Union officials are holding an emergency meeting today to discuss its response to the attacks in Brussels.
And Steve, the search still continues this morning for that Nashville couple who went missing when bombs went off at the airport in Brussels. Justin and Stephanie Schultz have not been seen or heard from since the attacks on Tuesday. Yesterday, their family was told the couple had been found, injured but alive. Then, less than 2 hours later, they learned that information was not true, and the couple is still missing. We've been in touch with family members. As soon as we get an update, we'll pass it along.
And we are following that breaking news this morning of a house fire in Portland. Happened from overnight. News Channel 5's Alexandra Cohen arriving on the scene here just moments ago, and you see this shot there, and we were told that indeed this house was destroyed. You can tell right there from Alexandra's picture it indeed is. This is Keytown Road, and of course all you see is looks like maybe the front of that structure standing, but they're going to have to take this whole thing down. We do not know if there were any injuries. Alexandra getting information from the authorities right now on exactly how this blaze began, but you see the house just absolutely destroyed there, and there's still some fire there at the bottom right of your screen there as they are still battling that fire. We'll check in with Alexandra for more info in just a few moments. Bullets fly during a robbery attempt, sending one person to the hospital, and the search is on for those responsible. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres live at the hospital with how the victim is doing. And what did the victim talk to police about, Matthew?
Well, he says that he was just walking down the street when the suspects approached them in a vehicle and then tried to rob him at gunpoint. At this hour, police are still searching for two men believed to be involved in this shooting that sent that one person here to the hospital overnight. Just take a look at video from the scene when we got there. The victim was shot in the leg and is expected to survive. This was around midnight near the J.C. Napier homes on Claiborne Street in South Nashville. According to Metro Police, at least two men in a four-door black truck pulled up next to the victim. The passenger demanded money when he got out, and when the victim said he didn't have any, that's when he was reportedly shot. This morning, we have learned the victim is 55 years old and is still recovering. However, though, there is no suspect description. So that's why if you've seen anything or really was there or know any information about the shooting, call Crime Stoppers. That number is 615-74-CRIME. Reporting live at Vanderbilt University Medical Center this morning, Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Matthew. Developing news out of Christian County this morning where a man was stabbed to death. The Kentucky New Era snapped this photo of the scene yesterday. Hopkinsville police say Ricky Harrell was found stabbed multiple times at a home on Oak Street. The 31-year-old was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. Investigators say they're questioning Harrell's girlfriend, who was also home at the time. Right now, though, she's not facing any charges. 2 people are in custody and several others are on the run after gunfire goes off near a nightclub. Kimberly Davis joins us with what vehicles, I should say, police are trying to track down. Good morning, Kimberly.
Amy, good morning. Police are trying to track down 2 vehicles. They're trying to track down a Chevy Tahoe as well as a Chevy Impala. And when they got to the scene last night, they found 2 people running away from where that shots fired call came from. They took those 2 people into custody, and now they are being questioned this morning. Now, this all happened last night around 11 o'clock while police officers were monitoring the 1400 block of Brick Church Pike when they noticed people shooting pistols as they were leaving the Kilimanjaro nightclub behind the Days Inn. 2 people attempted to run from the scene but were detained by police. A white Chevy Impala and a black Chevy Tahoe were able to get away from the area without being stopped by police. Police say multiple people were inside those 2 vehicles. Officers also found a handgun behind the bushes, and shell casings were also recovered from the parking lot of the Days Inn. Thankfully, no one was injured there during the shots fired call. We're also told that there was no damage done to any property that was there. Again, police are still working on trying to identify the shooters. If you have any information about this, Metro Police would like to hear from you, so give them a call at 615-74-CRIME. For now, we are live in North Nashville. Kimberly Davis, News Channel 5.
Kimberly, thank you. A new development now. The driver accused of hitting a man and leaving him to die on the side of the road is now facing charges. Ronnie Gaines was arrested for leaving the scene of a fatal accident. Springfield PD telling us that Joseph Moss was running alongside Memorial Boulevard when Gaines hit him with his pickup truck back in 2014. Gaines did not stop. Moss died from his injuries on the side of the road. After following up tips for more than a year, police finally arresting Gaines, who's 40 years of age.
We feel like we've put a lot of time and energy into this. Some specific investigators and detectives have really worked hard on this to put the pieces together. So I think there's probably a certain degree of satisfaction.
Chief Thompson there from Springfield says 2 or 3 other people are believed to have been in the truck with Gaines at the time, so more arrests are expected in this case.
Nearly a dozen families are without a home this morning after a fire in Tullahoma. When crews arrived at the Country Club Apartments Tuesday, smoke was already coming out the windows. We're told the fire appears to have started near a heating and air unit and traveled inside the walls to the upstairs apartments. The Red Cross is now helping those 11 families displaced by the fire. We now know the name of the man killed when a mobile home went up in flames in Manchester. Investigators say Dustin Keel died from smoke inhalation. The fire happened on Stump Street Monday morning. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.